If you have read the title of this video, I say I am done collecting modern Transformers. This video will explain why I prefer the older waves of Transformers back in the day. Starting with 2007, 2007 was a mixed bag for me. It had pretty cool figures like Swindle, who had a lot of articulation and had a pretty cool gimmick, well, a lame one at best, but it was a basic figure and it made a good impact on me. Overcast was the same too. He had a nice flamethrower gimmick that turns into missile launchers, and he has cool ability but limited in the legs, but you could make him do some crazy poses, but even though his legs are very weird. After Overcast, it is Big Daddy. Shut up. He's a Cybertron figure, which was kind of half of the line as well. He had a missile gimmick, he had some okay articulation, and he couldn't even move his arms past his chest. It's a Cybertron figure, it shouldn't be in the movie figure toy line, but he had a cool gimmick with the Cyber Key, what makes his chest go open. But now here's the Revenge of the Fallen and Human Alliance or Hunt for the Decepticons line. Starting off with the controversial Skids, he's a pretty good figure, even though he has horrible articulation in the legs. But that's okay, he makes up for it with a cool gimmick where you could just move his chest up and down as a Mecha-Life gimmick, which it's pretty cool. You get to make him talk and whatever. And also, a fist could pop out with a button, and you could also make a cannon out of it. Which is a pretty cool gimmick for a 2009 figure. It looks pretty good. It has good pan-apps, and yeah. Dirge is probably my second favorite. He just looks cool, and he's asymmetrical, and I like it. His Mecha-Live gimmick is if you move the arms up, hit the gears in his chest move, but you can barely tell with how I framed it. But it's cool. He has gorilla arms. I don't really care. He used to have missiles. I didn't get them when I bought on eBay, so that's fine. At least he still has the rocket pod, so he has like really no head articulation besides a swivel, but that's okay. Breakdown is probably one of my other favorites. He's just a cool car transformer who has like minimal kibble, but the kibble makes sense on his body, like the door arms, the wheel parts on his legs, and the hood. Same goes to Oil Pan, who is in the Hunt for Decepticons line. Just looks cool. The only damage on him is his foot broke in half, but I easily fixed it. Not really any problems. This is Jetblade. He came with no weapons really, so he's just by himself, so I'm only just showing the Mecha-Live gimmick, which failed to work, but it's okay. He's just a direct repaint of Dirge, which it's okay. It makes him look different, it makes him look brighter. They actually like look unique compared to each other, which is pretty nice. My only Dark in the Moon figure right now is this Ratchet, and it's obvious that the Studio Series was a basis off of this, but it had a cool MechTech gimmick with this Dude Blaster thing. And he has a big backpack, but that's okay. So the reason why I made this video is because I am just bored of the modern Transformers. The Legacy, the Age of the Primes, the Siege, the Earthrise, the Kingdom, they're all just boring. And Studio Series was good at first, until like it just made everything look the same a little bit. Like with the ports all over, with some QC issues, or just not really good figures, in my opinion. And Studio Series has just evolved into including other things that could have just been by itself. One of the main reasons why I hate Studio Series, it just takes away from the old, oh, a movie's coming out, we make a toy line with good quality figures and have many characters who both appear and don't appear that make toy line only or toy line exclusive characters. It just ruins that thing that people want, because people don't want the old, oh, I want 50 Bumblebees. I want other characters who never were in the movie, who actually look different with cool color schemes and new heads. That's why I just don't like the new modern Transformers. here's the thing. I like combiners. Like, you guys could tell, like, I like the Power of the Primes figures. I like the Legacy Menasor. But, like, it just doesn't do it for me. I just prefer old toy lines, like Dark and Moon, Revenge of the Fallen, and the 07 film. Because it had different substances than just repaint, repaint, repaint. Even though I talked about like 2 repaints in this video, but guess what? They looked different enough to make me feel like it was worth buying. That's why I don't like Legacy, because there's too many repaints that I don't feel like are worth buying or investing time in. It's a hot take from someone who is a Bavers fan who turned into a G1 and Beast Wars fan. But I just do not like how these figures are doing now. Like, here's the thing. I prefer buying Masterpiece and Yoda Park over buying modern Legacy figures. Because they are just so boring. There's, like, it's just G1 over and over. Like, hey, call me a G1 hater, but guess what? I'm just bored of it. I just want movie figures now. Like, even with Rise of the Beast, that has some cool designs, but guess what? They just get thrown into Studio Series and have the same looking body types and like different. It just doesn't make it look different from everything else, like the old 7 toy line and the Revenge of the Fallen toy line, because their figures actually look different. Their heights were different. They just looked a lot more different from each other. I get like Transformers aren't supposed to look alike, but like when the line looks too similar, you're like, okay, I'm just bored. I want some uniqueness. And this is where I get my uniqueness from, is buying old figures. Because old figures either don't have hands, normal articulation, or just have normal parts. Because they're all unique. Everything else it just looks bland. I might be rambling, but guess what? I don't really care because I'm just bored of buying new figures. Get me wrong. My OC custom Hotlink, here's the thing. That design is super boring. Like, I don't like the Seekers in Bumblebee. Like, the Seekers look cool a little bit, but like they just look boring. Along with like some of the Rise of the Beast designs, but I'm not going to get into that. I just like unique designs that emulate this game characters a little bit. But like if it's completely different like Babers, I understand. But if it's too much like G1 without adding movie into it, it just makes it look boring. I may be a little hypocritical with some of my things. It just depends on the character I'm looking at, though. Though, wrong word. But, like, the repaints, remolds, and all that, it's just boring Legacy. That's why I'm just so bored with it now. And that's why, like, I'm only on eBay now. Because Amazon only has the new stuff. I completely got rid of my Amazon account because I don't need Amazon anymore. And I think this is like the slow decline of why I'm no longer making customs, because the new stuff isn't cool enough to make customs out of. Like, that's why I'm making Stunticons out of the old stuff. But I think this kind of shows that like, I'm growing up and I don't want to buy Transformers anymore. Like, I prefer the old stuff. It has nostalgia, but like, I just don't like the new stuff where it's going. And as someone who like had like a lot of investment to buy Transformers a lot during my early year of Transformers, where I bought so many figures to make customs of. Looking back at it now, and if I was in the same shoes, or if I had the same opportunity, I wouldn't buy new stuff. I would just buy old stuff. And like, that's my point of view on it. Where the new stuff is more interesting, or no, the old stuff is more interesting than the new stuff, in my opinion. I mean, people might share the same sentiment, people might not. I don't really care. It's my opinion. You guys have yours. You're entitled to yours. I'm entitled to mine. But, like, the old figures are better, in my opinion, because they were different. They were unique, and they looked a lot different from each other with different proportions, different looks, sizes, colors, whatever. They just looked different from everyone else. And sorry if you could hear my cat licking herself and cleaning. I can't really deal with that, right? I can't really mess with that right now, but as a final note, I am no longer buying the Stunticons from Legacy. I am no longer buying. I'm not going to buy Age of the Prime stuff. I'm not going to buy Stewie Series 86 stuff. I'm not going to buy any, like, Siege, War for Cybertron Trilogy, Power to the Primes. I'm not going to buy any of that stuff anymore. Because it's just a waste of money if I don't enjoy a figure like that. Don't get me wrong, there are some duds with some of the older figures. I had a chop saw that I bought that would have been in this video until its arms fused and got stuck and the arms ripped off. I looked on the TF Wiki, there's nothing on there, so it's just a QC issue on my fault, or my part. I had an incinerator which got chewed on by dogs and destroyed, which that's my fault, it's not anything else, but those are just some of the hiccups with buying stuff like this. Sometimes they break easily. I'm starting to get cracks on my skids a little bit, but it's not that bad. But this has been me rambling for almost 12 minutes, so great. I was going to try and make this video 10 minutes, but Hotlink Studios out. I am hopefully going to be finishing my Seekers in the next month. I have a mud flap coming so I could finish my twins. Twins are okay. I don't want to hear about it. Alright, goodbye.